Hello, B1 family, and welcome back to the YouTube channel, The Big Black American Secret. My name is Daniel Jackson, and today I'm going to talk about a video that I saw of Donald Trump speaking to a large group of Republicans just maybe about 10 days ago. Now, he said some things in this video that made my ears kind of perk up a little bit, and I'm gonna show you that video in this video, and it's short. It's not very long. So I'm leaning on fair use. This is for educational purposes only. And I'm kind of glad I'm at a pivotal point where a few years ago I would notice when some white people talk, a lot of things they say would just be very wordy. It's like they talking a lot but ain't really saying a whole lot that meant anything to me. But in doing my research over the last few years and listening to other black people talk, black people who are of the same mindset as me, one specific person, Tariq Nasheed, he called it a word salad. Word salad. And that makes perfect sense to me. So I'm going to translate for you what Donald Trump is actually saying and meaning for black people. Now, he specifically, because of the system of racism, white supremacy, he's not saying, hey, black people, this is what I'm, no. What he's saying don't even seem to be directed toward us at all. On the surface, it won't seem that way at all. But subconsciously, it's very directed to you. And I'm explaining to you why, after the video or during it. I'm not really sure if I'm going to interrupt the video and say, hey, at this point, this is what he said, and this is how black people should take it. You understand? Okay. So the video itself is, Donald Trump is talking about critical race theory. A lot of Republicans and a lot of racist white people have a problem with critical race theory. He's also talking about woke and that being very bad. If you're a woke person, you're an idiot or something, he said. But all of this really is the system of racism, white supremacy saying, hey, we hear what's going on out there. The Aboriginal American is waking up. The true Americans are waking up, and white people are gathering their forces. I'm going to just say it simply like that. They're gathering their forces. They're putting things in place. And, I'm excited because, racism needs to be put under a spotlight. That's where it's its weakest. You understand what I'm saying? Racism can't handle the truth of us. Well, when I shine a light on, I call that spotlight the truth. It can't handle that being under the spotlight of truth. So that, to me, that's exciting. But I also have to bring you all into the fold so you'll know how to move, so that you understand the code is B1, black first. You understand? So that being said, I'm gonna read the goal of this channel, and then I'm gonna move forward. The goal of this channel is to build an unstoppable army of knowledgeable black melanated people in America and around the world that understand that we as melanated people have one enemy worldwide, and that enemy is the system of racism, white supremacy. Our mission through education is to replace this evil system with a system of freedom, justice, and equality as laid out by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. We will need your help in building this knowledgeable army. You can help by subscribing to this channel, by donating to this cause through Cash App or PayPal, and by sharing this video and by sharing the videos you watch here and any knowledge that is shared. In doing so, together, we help fertilize the mentally enslaved, colonized minds of black melanated people worldwide, creating the perfect mental conditions for our children to grow up in a better, more balanced world. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's video will be in the description of this video. Please, every black person around the world, no matter your nationality, every melanated person needs to watch that video just so you understand how the system of racism works. And the system of racism, white supremacy is global. It's worldwide. There is no place you can move. to escape the system of racism, white supremacy. So I'm gonna turn this phone around, and then we're gonna get into this video, and I'm going to translate this video for you, Black America. Okay. And also too, the name of this YouTube channel is The Big Black American Secret. And the secret is, if you're a Black American, you are an Aboriginal American. That's the secret. You are an Aboriginal American. You are the only true owner of the dirt under your feet. You are indigenous to America. You are not descendants of West African slaves. It's because of the system of racism, white supremacy, that you think that you are the descendants of West African slaves, because that's what we have been taught to believe. It's not our fault. It's all psychological operations, to trick us out of our identity, land, labor, and resources. Okay? That being said, I'm going to get into this video, and like I say, turn this phone around. And I'm very low tech. I work with what I have in my hand at the time, and I try to make things happen. You know what I'm saying? And here we go.
Remember when I walked to the church, proudly walked to the church, that the protesters, they tried to burn it down, but I walked to the church, protesters out there, and Millie was walking with me. And the next day, the radical left media starts calling, you shouldn't have walked, you shouldn't have walked. Instead of saying, I'm proud to walk with my president, not because it's me, because of the office. Instead of saying that, he wanted to apologize for walking with the president of the United States. And
I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
And I said, this guy doesn't have what it takes. And you're seeing that now because the woke think so. I don't think he was too woke. He was the exact opposite. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit.
Now ask yourself, what group of people use the term woke? It's Black people. Okay? So this attack is subliminal to Black people. He won't say that specifically, but you have to understand the mindset of the racist, our racist enemy. This attack is to Black people because Black people use the term woke. You understand what I'm saying? They're trying to use our terminology, turn that into a weapon against us. Okay, so I'm gonna let it play.
Okay, it's true. It's true. Look at what's happening. Is up against some of the most sinister forces and entrenched interests that anyone can even imagine. But no matter how big our way of life, no matter how big our country or how powerful they may seem, you must never forget this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you.
All right, he's pointing to the crowd in the audience. And I'm pretty sure a large majority of those people are white people. He say, this country belongs to you, white people. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he's saying. It belongs to you. It doesn't belong to the woke. It doesn't belong to the people, the Black Americans who are waking up and realizing that this country actually belongs to the Black American. We are the only true Americans, okay?
This is your home. This is your heritage. And our magnificent American liberty is your God-given right.
No, you and your people are Europeans. You're not Americans. You're foreigners. And it is not your God-given right, So again, my goal is to translate this to the minds, for the minds of my people. Okay.
The citizens of the United States of America will not be dictated to and talked down to by incompetent politicians.
Now, most average people, he's speaking, he just said, about politicians. So most people, even black people, will think that this is speaking against the Democratic Party or politicians who are authoritarian. I may be saying that word wrong, but we have to understand as black people, as the original Americans, that we are and always have been at war since 1492, when Christopher Columbus came here and started enslaving and colonizing our people. So I want you to see this for what it is. From just the surface level look at this, you would just think this is a political speech. It don't mean anything. But no, these are quiet dog whistles to rally racist white America. It's almost a war cry. But and I'm gonna keep playing this, but it's we have to understand, us as black Americans, these people watch everything we do. They know what's going on, and they're afraid to lose their grip on our land. Okay?
Corrupt tyrants, left-wing bullies or socialists, bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., a place that I got to know very, very well. We are descended from the heroes and the patriots, the pioneers and the legends who tamed the great wilderness.
No, your people aren't great. They stole this land through all levels of beastery, trickery, slavery. And they always want to romanticize what they did. But what they did was not honorable at all. Okay?
Who settled this vast continent and who laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers.
Did all that with slave labor. You understand what I'm saying? He's talking like his people, the white European, had they blood, sweat, and tears running. No, the blood, sweat, and tears came from melanated people. Never forget that.
And poured out their blood, sweat, and tears to build this country into the greatest nation in the history of the world. And we are...
No, y'all stole our nation, and you're trying to steal our identity. See how they want you to be getting twisted. And if you weren't like me, a person who is woke, a person who's B1, you would think, yeah, we're all Americans. Yeah, we're not going to let the Democratic Party or anybody, just make us do what they want us to do. No, you know what I'm saying? Never forget this one thing. Democrats and Republicans are the same people. They're all racist toward black people. They're on the same team. The system of racism, white supremacy is going to always take both sides in an argument, in a fight. That's how they control the outcome, especially when the main enemy to them, all of them, all racist white people have one enemy, and that is the melanated black man and woman. Okay? They will disguise it. They will not talk about it. They will use all levels of trickery to confuse you. But the bottom line, main objective for the system of racism, white supremacy, their number one enemy is the black man and woman, the melanated man and woman worldwide.
Not going to let it be taken away from us under any circumstances. Our ancestors crushed fascism. Beneath the weight of American tanks, they toppled communism by the strength of American culture, and now we will defeat woke radicalism and a continuation.
You see, woke equals black. Woke equals radicalism. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to use our terminology and words against us. It's pretty much the same as a character assassination. And here's why it's important for you to understand this as black Americans. This is the tactic they've always used. First, they attack the character of a people or a person. They build up support around that idea, and therefore, when it comes down time to take down that person or that group, they have the support. You see what I'm saying? And we're not going to allow them to gain the support of our people behind this crazy idea. Our black people need to know that woke is us. Woke is a black term. Woke is a melanated term. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can't allow them to try to hijack that and ball it into their bullcrap racist critical race theory. Critical race theory means nothing for black people. It's a trickery of words. We have to focus on the fact that racist white America is just that. They're racist. We focus on the fact that they're racist. Has nothing to do with a critical race theory. See, critical race theory says nothing about racism. That's them being trickery. They're using both sides of this critical race theory to take the focus off of the fact that they're both sides of the coin, racism, Democrats and Republicans. Please understand that.
Of communism, because that's what this is heading for. We will defeat it.
Woke means you're a communist. Woke means you're fascist. You see how they're trying to tie being woke in with being communist, being fascist. All of this seems very familiar, don't it? Yeah, they've always used terms like that to make the majority of America turn against a term. Anything that scares them, they say, oh, that's communism. That's fascism. That's socialism. Ooh, that's a bad thing. No, it's all bullshit. Smoke and mirrors. Psychops.
With the sheer power of American pride and American brand. Our leaders may not believe in the destiny of America. They may not believe in the destiny of America. I really don't believe in many ways they love our country. But we do, and we are not going to let anybody take that love away. We know that there is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. And there is no challenge we cannot meet. We are Americans.
No, you're not Americans. Matter of fact, let me show you exactly who the Americans are. I'm going to bring your attention to the definition. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. And this definition is right here. It's Google. It's 1828 definition of American. And here it is right here. I'm going to read this. It says, American, a noun, a native of America, originally applied to the aboriginals. That's the people who are original to this continent. The people who come from the dirt of this continent. Or copper-colored races. Copper is a brown color, brownish red, found here by the Europeans. Now, this definition tells you everything you need to know. And again, this is the year 1828. Definition of American. It says, American, a noun, a native of America, applied to the aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. This is why under the system of racism, white supremacy, they had to trick us into thinking that all melanated people migrated out of Africa at different times. When the whole truth is, no, Aboriginal people have existed on every landmass all in about the same time. Okay? Now, this second part of this definition tells you about the identity theft. Now, it says American, but now applies to the descendants of Europeans born in America. But now apply to the descendants of Europeans born in America. See, the Europeans have tried to steal your very black American identity, but not the black part, just the American part. Europeans, but now apply to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Every group of people have something in front of that, their names or their nationality. Black American, Chinese American, Jamaican American, all of them. But when we think of white people, you know, the Irish, the German, we don't say Irish American or German American. No, that's because they have slowly, systematically worked themselves into the spot of American. Anytime these people get angry with foreigners, they tell them, go back to where you come from, when they themselves are foreign to this continent. You understand how this works? black man and woman of America, you are home, always have been. Your identity has always been under attack. So I'm welcoming you to yourself. I'm introducing you to your identity. Okay, let me let this play. But again, Europeans are not American. They are from Europe, different parts of Europe. Okay, so please understand it. Now, let me go back a little bit. It says, or copper-colored races. I've got a thing pull up here about the definition of the color of the penny. To accurately grade copper coins, you must be able to describe the color of copper. Over time, the brilliant orange-red color of a freshly minted copper coin, such as a Lincoln cent, will diminish and fade to a deep chocolate brown color. What group of people are deep chocolate brown? That would be your black Americans. Okay? As this degradation of color occurs, there will be varying degrees in which both red and brown colors will exist simultaneously on the surface of the coin. This color designation only applies to uncirculated coins. That's right here. That's the bright red color, uncirculated. All circulated coins are assumed to be brown. Brown, the black American. We are all varying degrees of brown. We're not black, we're not black skinned like the back of this phone case. We're all different shades of brown. From light skinned, damn near white, to blue black, mahogany. I hope you understand and see that.
And the future belongs to us. We are going to have a great future. We are going to turn this mess around. This is a horrible thing that's happening to our country. We're laughed at all over the world. We're not going to be laughed at anymore. This is a horrible, horrible thing, and it's going to go on for a while, but we've got to end it. We cannot let this happen. They're destroying our country. We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender.
Now, again, he's rallying support behind the idea that they are American. This is their home. And whoever challenges this, they will never back down. They will fight to their very last breath. And newsflash, fake Americans, the black American will not bow down. We will not break. We will not balk. The game is up. You understand? So again, most people watching this, both black and white, see this simply as a political rah-rah. Hey, we're American. We're going to take our country back. Biden is running this country into the ground. But under the surface, what's really going on is racist white America is feeling the pressure of the Aboriginal black American waking up. Get it? That's why they speak against the woke ideology. So continue to be woke and stay woke, black American, because this is your home. You are not the descendants of West African slaves. To continue to believe the fake out of Africa theory is to deny your own birthright. Not only your birthright, but also too of the Aboriginal Europeans' birthright. You see, the out of Africa theory, the Neanderthal gene, all of these were put into our history books, and we were taught about them through church and all levels of indoctrination to make us believe that the white European occupied all of Europe, when the fact is that's just not the case. The white European has always been a very small group of people in Europe. Europe was occupied largely like Africa, like America. It was occupied by melanated people. Matter of fact, let me go to Google real quick. There's a document. There's a document that I read on most of my videos because it's so eye-opening. Benjamin Franklin was very upset that England wanted to send a whole bunch of German people here. He wrote this document in 1751. As a matter of fact, this is a document on the screen, and it's from the National Archives. This is the guy, I believe, on your $100 bill, Benjamin Franklin. That's the term, the Benjamins. So I could be wrong, but I think it's a $100 bill. But anyway, observations concerning the increase of mankind in 1751. I'm showing you this because Benjamin Franklin himself is going to tell you that Europe was primarily melanated people. I'm going to scroll down. This is a long document to about the last 2 paragraphs. And I'm going to start reading right here. It says, and since detachment of England from Britain sent to America will have their place at home so soon supplied and increased so largely here, why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlement, and by herding together establish their language and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens, who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize? See, they're German. They were called Palatine Boers. It's like a slang term for them, but there are German people. To Germanize us instead of us anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can acquire our complexion, see, skin color. Which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionately very small. All Africa is black and tawny. Tawny means brown. All Africa is black and brown, and it still is today. Context clues. Asia, chiefly tawny. Asia, chiefly brown people. And again, that's true. Before the Ice Age, in Europe, in Asia, there was an ice age. There was a large part of those areas where the sun wasn't getting down to the ground. Okay, for about a period of 10,000 years is what paleontologists tell us. During this time, the melanated people in those areas, the Aboriginal people of Asia and of Europe, who gave birth to albino babies. These are babies that are born with very little to no melanin. Those babies who would normally die off due to skin cancer or other things, now were allowed to flourish and grow in numbers for 10,000 years. Okay, so again, and in those areas, and it wasn't the whole of Europe and the whole of Asia, it was just certain parts. So yeah, the Asians looked like you and I, melanated, and they just had Asian phenotypes. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. Wholly so what? Black and brown. And in Europe, the Spaniards, the Italian, the French, the Russian, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion. Swarthy means black or dark-skinned. As are the Germans also. The Germans are black and brown. This is coming directly from Benjamin Franklin's. He's a primary source, 1751. The Saxons only accepted who with the English make up the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. I could wish their numbers were increased. He wished it was more white-skinned people. And while we are, as I may call it, scoring our planet by clearing America of woods, they were cutting down trees, building plantations, homes, sending wood to England, and so making this side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of inhabitants in Mars and Venus. Like if you were up in the sky, like a Martian or something, looking down, and they're cutting down trees, it would reflect a brighter light. Why should we, in the sight of superior beings, those Martians and Venetians, darken its people? Why increase the sons of Africa? Dark people, black and brown people. Remember, he says Africa is black and tawny, black and brown. Why increase the sons of black and brown people of increasing the lovely white and red? But perhaps I am, and red, of course, were and I just told you, the Aboriginal Americans. The Aboriginal Americans, were a reddish brown color, and they still are today. But perhaps I am partial to the complexion of my country, for such kind of partiality is natural to all mankind, you see. So I showed you this to let you know that Europeans in Europe were 90% melanated people. The white European was very small in number. In fact, when Europeans came here and started to do harm to the black Aboriginal American, both the black European and the white European were working hand in hand as brothers and sisters. That didn't change until after Bacon's Rebellion, you know, and then it was further, the system of racism, white supremacy, didn't kick in until after 1859. Okay, Charles Darwin wrote a book called The Origin of the Species and Natural Selection, which planted in the minds of the white-skinned European that they were genetically superior. That is when all sorts of things started to be formulated. You know, this is also when the white-skinned European started to eliminate the black European. I talk about that on another one of my videos. So let me get back to what Trump is saying to his large crowd of followers.
My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun.
Now, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because he's talking about some old blah, blah, blah.
We took care of people at a level that nobody has ever thought possible. Nope. Biden and the extreme left are also using every lever of the federal government to impose woke nonsense on every facet of American life, pushing toxic critical race theory into our...
See, woke fascism, toxic racist, toxic critical race theory. You understand what I'm saying? Racist white people are very afraid to have the spotlight, to be under the spotlight, to be called racist, you know. But to me, I rejoice because now they have no way to escape it. You know, the more they fight against it, the more it gets publicized. You know what I'm saying? So it to me, we have to rejoice in these things because, you know, it is what it is.
Children's classrooms and even into our military. That bill contains billions and billions of dollars for unlawful government training programs inspired by toxic and bigoted critical race theory. It's crammed with so-called equity provisions. Equity, you know what equity means? We're going to take it away from you and give it to other people. I don't...
See, that's code for they want to take what we have stolen from you and give it back to you. That's exactly what he's saying, but under the guise of his word salad. You see what I'm saying? These people are very nervous, but they're also trying to come together under the umbrella that anything woke is evil. Okay?
I think they're going to take it away from too many of you. I have a feeling. I don't think they're going to take it away from you. But it's a code word for illegal government discrimination that they want to bring to everything from education to housing to healthcare to our military. They're also giving the IRS the power to destroy.
And if you think about it, everything he's saying sounds like perfectly good. You know, and I'm definitely no friend of Biden because, I mean, this dude, he landed so many black people in jail behind his racist policies in the late 80s and early 90s with his tough on crime laws, him and Bill Clinton. You know, when they had the war on drugs, that was simply code word for the war on black people. So please understand. But so everything that he's saying, it sounds very appealing to most people who don't understand what's really going on. You know, and as for black people, when it comes to voting, our code is reparations. We will only support a president that guarantees black people reparations. That is our code. We will not vote for nothing less. They will, and it's not a promise of reparations, it's a guarantee. You know, we're not going to allow them to give us a whole bunch of word salad saying that, you know, if we get in there, we're going to work hard to try to get you. No. It must be guaranteed in writing before we put another person in office. We will sit out any and all elections until we get what we want, which is reparations. That's the code, people. That's B1. Get on board. Stay on board. Do not allow these people to frighten you into voting for anybody. Black people are harmed by both parties. Please believe that. Please understand that.
People, just like they tried to do with the Tea Party, Christian organizations, and just like they've always been trying to do to me. You see that? We fight like hell. We all fight like hell. This bill is a sinister combination of job-killing tax hikes and woke fascism.
See, say it again. Woke fascism. You know, trying to put our words in the same category as communism, socialism. Everything that they fight hard against, they trying to put our words to be woke. For black people to be woke, we're communists. We can't fall for that bullcrap no more. So I'm very honored and proud to be able to translate this bullshit for you. Okay? So I'm going to turn this phone back around and, you know, we're going to close out this video in a little bit. But take a minute, like and share this video, and start to understand that you have to, if you watch regular news organs, white news organs, CBN, ABC, Fox News, you have to filter that out with, or blend it in with black news organs. Start listening to Jason Black, Professor Truth, Black Truth, Vicky Dillard, you know, Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Boyce Watkins. The reason I say that is if you don't counter what you hear from white news organs, you will continue to be mentally manipulated. You understand? We're at war, and it's a war we're gonna win, you know. But it's up to each and every one of us to, once we hear something, we research it, find out if it's true, and then we go and we build from there. As black people, you owe it to yourself to talk to your oldest living relatives. You know, do your own genealogy. Talk to your oldest living relatives. That's step one. Some of you probably haven't talked to your oldest living relatives in a long time. The way the system is set up, it keeps us separated on purpose, so that we don't communicate, so that we don't learn the truth. When I talked to my oldest living relatives, it was confirmed to me. We're Blackfoot Indian, Sioux Indian, and this was my grandparents that I was raised up with, my mother's mother and father. I did not know this growing up. Had an uncle named Leroy, who was an excellent swimmer. He used to like to swim so much he would bust the ice in the wintertime just to swim. He was an excellent swimmer. He let slip that he was Indian. They hung him, killed him, and threw him in the river. His sister under him let slip that she was Indian. She was raped and left for dead in the woods. She lived. There's a picture of her holding me when I was probably about 6 months old, but she never had no children. My grandparents nutted up after that. They didn't talk to their younger children about this. How do I know this? My youngest aunties and uncles didn't know anything about their Indian heritage. My older aunties and uncles knew a hell of a lot. This is how I'm able to tell you what I'm telling you now. You understand? There was laws passed in the 1920s or 40s. It was called matter of fact, let me Google this real quick. It's called the Racial Integrity Act. Our people were killed, imprisoned, beaten if they claimed their indigenous heritage. People, what I'm telling you is not a joke. It's a damn shame. And what happened to our people on our own land, we're prisoners of war. We were enslaved on our own land. We're prisoners of war. You know, I'm going to look this up. It's called Racial Integrity Act. Racial Integrity I'm spelling this thing all wrong. Integrity. Racial Integrity Act. 1924. The Racial Integrity Act of 1924. See if I can pull this up real quick and read it to you. All right. Let me just turn this around for a minute. Not sure if you all could see that very clearly, but this is the Racial Integrity Act, 1924 to 1930. Racial integrity laws were passed by the General Assembly to protect whiteness. Protect whiteness against what many Virginians perceive to be the negative effects of race mixing. They included the Racial Integrity Act, which prohibited interracial marriage and defined as interracial marriages and defined as white persons who has no trace whatsoever of any blood other than Caucasians. But it was a law passed to protect whiteness. People were killed, beaten, and hung for claiming their natural identity. You understand, people? This was a death sentence for our people. It's a death sentence. So you owe it to yourself and to your people to find out what they could not tell you themselves. Talk to your oldest living relatives. Call them up and say, hey, Uncle, Auntie, I know I haven't talked to you in years. But I lately I've been wanting to reach out and hear your voice and let you know I love you. And you ease into this. Tell them you want to know about the family's heritage and past, and take your time and listen to them. Write down everything they say. Ask them about where they grew up at. What school did they go to? What part of the United States did the family grow up at? What little area? What little town? Write everything down. And then you simply ask them, have you ever heard any rumors that we might have Indian in our family? And you listen, and you take notes, and you write it down. But don't just talk to one. Talk to them all. Because one may have heard something where another one did not. Again, our people have always been at war. We're still at war. The war never ends. Never ended. Never ended. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you what year and what time and who declared war on us. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I do apologize about the pause, because I'm trying to find this definition. I think I may have found it. Let's see. Okay. It says the Pope asserts rights to colonize, convert, and enslave. Pope Alexander VI issued a papal bull or decree, it's called the Inter Caetera, in which he authorized Spain and Portugal to colonize the Americas and its native peoples as subjects. When you decree something, you make it's a declaration. The decree asserts the rights of Spain and Portugal to colonize, convert, and enslave. It also justified the enslavement of Africans, and this was in 1493. This is when war was declared on the Americas, on our people. That war was never undeclared. After Spain came in and started enslaving our people, then the other European continents got involved as well, because there was a lot of money to be made. You know what I'm saying? We are prisoners of war on our own land. Purposefully misclassified as West African slaves, so that we would not know that we were tied to this continent, that we own this continent. Do you see how evil that is? And it ends. Yes, we are woke, and we're never going back to sleep. And on that note, I'm going to end this video. Be one, family.